You can find a soft red smudge on the bottom of page 124 in the book about a gorilla. She accidentally left the small stain when her third-grade hand reached over her lunch tray to follow along with the words I read. Her lips sound them out as I slowly pronounce the more challenging ones. New words like especially and deliberately slowly sink their way into her lexicon as we progress through the story. We talk about what the new words mean, and she gives examples of ways she relates the characters in the book and her new vocabulary to her own life. She doesn't take notes or fill out worksheets. We just read and talk. She tells me that she has two sisters at home with her mother, along with another two sisters and three brothers at her dad's house. It is clear she has an extensive family, not unlike the gorilla troop from the story. She is the middle child at home, where her single mother doesn't seem to think there's enough time to waste with reading stories about animals. She was identified as a low reader from the earliest assessments in the school year, so once a week, at lunchtime, I meet her in the small cafeteria. She gets her food, and we walk back to her quiet, empty classroom to read. I read while she eats, and as her tater tots and apple slices begin to digest, she eagerly reads a few pages to me. She looks at me with a curious tilt of her head for help when she doesn't know a word. She answers my questions about why she thinks the author uses different methods to tell the story, and she reminds me to come back next week. She's quiet the first time. She nibbles at her chicken fingers and stares at the pages while I hold them open. Her responses are curt and simple when I ask questions about the book. As her understanding of the story and the person reading it grow, so do her comfort, confidence, and enthusiasm. The next day I read to her, she starts asking questions. By the third day, she asks to read to me. She wants to know what will happen to the gorilla and his elephant friend. She wants to know what book we'll read next. She wants to know when I'll be back, even though I come the same day almost every week. She assures me that I would be a great teacher. I thank her and do not mention my teaching degree or years of experience with older students. I certainly do not mention my lack of confidence in working with students her age. It turns out, however, that you don't need a degree in elementary pedagogy or child psychology or child care in order to make a significant impact on a young person's life. It turns out you don't even need much money or experience. It does require some much more important attributes that are free, yet carry more weight in this world than degrees, certifications, or even self-confidence. It takes time, patience, compassion, and love to impact the life of a child in a way no amount of money thrown at the same problem ever could solve. Placing that same child in front of a television, a tablet, or a smartphone to keep her passively occupied away from human interaction and love is to shut her into mental darkness. I know this because having an adult's sincere attention to validate her thoughts and interests has revealed her intense mental brightness. She sees the crimson smudge she's left on page 124. She looks at me with a brief expression of fear. She winces at the thought of punishment. I smile, shrug, and continue reading, while sliding a white paper napkin across the desk for her hands. Her ears keep listening, her shoulders relax, her eyes keep following, and her mind paints the pictures of a mighty silverback in a deep green jungle. It turns out that it beats the hell out of sharing lunch with adult peers. If only every parent in the world realized that.